Hi everyone, and welcome back to Nurturing Your Infant and Yourself. Today's session I am going to share the remaining exercises from the 12 exercises for mindful parenting. And then we're going to move into some more experiential movement. So I encourage you to do these practices along with me with the video, and then as you move forward in the rest of your week, maybe incorporating some of these activities into your daily routines, especially with your little one when they are on a mat or on the floor doing tummy time or playtime. I'm going to show you some stretches and some movement that can feel really good for you and your body while you are taking care of your infant. So let's get to it. Let's get back to the 12 exercises for mindful parenting. Another reminder that this is not a to-do list. These are just ideas and seeds to be planted for the future. So thanks for joining me today. We'll jump back in. So number 7 of our 12 exercises from Mindful Parenting from the book Everyday Blessings, Mindful Parenting by John and Mila Kabat-Zinn. So number 7 is try embodying silent presence. This will grow out of both formal and informal mindfulness practice over time. If you attend to how you carry yourself and what you project in your mind, body, and speech, and listen carefully. Embodying silent presence. So I think this is the one when we left off on last week, but I wanted to return back to it. Again, if you attend to how you carry yourself and what you project in body, mind, and speech, and listen carefully. Right, so again, that's your body language. Are you sitting with your arms crossed a lot of the time? Do you find yourself needing to be distracted with phone, social media, news, tidying up, being busy, right? Kind of noticing if you can allow yourself some time just to be silent and to sit with whatever's happening in front of you without actually having to be doing something specifically. So number 8 is learn to live with tension without losing your own balance. So this is something that we're all facing right now, of course. And they write, in Zen and the Art of Archery, Herigel describes how he was taught to stand at the point of highest tension effortlessly without shooting the arrow. So this is an old folk tale that they're referencing. At the right moment, the arrow mysteriously shoots itself. Do this by practicing moving into any moment, however difficult, without trying to change anything and without having to have a particular outcome occur. Simply bring your full awareness and presence to this moment. Practice seeing that whatever comes up is workable. If you are willing to stand in this way in the present, trusting your intuition and best instincts. Your child, especially when young, needs you to be a center of balance and trustworthiness, a reliable landmark by which he or she can take a bearing within his or her own landscape. Arrow and target each other. Forcing does not help. They will find each other better through wise attention and patience. So number 9, apologize to your child when you have betrayed a trust in even a little way. Apologies are healing. An apology demonstrates that you have thought about a situation and have come to see it more clearly, or perhaps more from your child's point of view. But we have to be mindful of being sorry too often. It loses its meaning if we're always saying it or make regret into a habit. Then it can become a way for us not to take responsibility for our actions. Beware of this. Cooking and remorse on occasion is a good meditation. Don't shut off the stove until the meal is ready. Number 10, every child is special and every child has special needs. Each sees in an entirely unique way. Hold an image of each child in your heart. Drink in their being, wishing them well. Number 11. There are very important times when we need to practice being clear and strong and unequivocal with our children. Let this come as much as possible out of awareness and generosity and discernment rather than out of fear, self-righteousness, or the desire to control. Mindful parenting does not mean being overindulgent, neglectful, or weak, nor does it mean being rigid, domineering, or controlling. And finally, number 12, the greatest gift you can give your child is yourself. This means that part of your work as a parent is to keep growing in self-knowledge and in awareness. We have to be grounded in the present moment to share what is deepest and best in ourselves. This is ongoing work, but it can be furthered by making a time for quiet contemplation in whatever way feels comfortable to us. We only have right now. Let us use it to its best advantage for our children's sake and for our own. So these ideas, these concepts, and how to bring this practice of mindfulness into your everyday life. Jon Kabat-Zinn also talks about attitudes to adopt when inviting in this practice of mindfulness. They include things like gratitude and patience and letting go and being generous and so many others that I'll link here in this video. But again, these are ideas and concepts that we reflect within ourselves. Notice how these things make us feel inside. Notice how your body feels on the inside when you're encountering certain situations. Allow yourself to pause, take a breath, and observe what's really happening rather than acting solely from charged up emotions, and getting to know yourself in this process as you get to know your baby. So now we're going to move onto the floor. I encourage you to practice along or come back to this video when you're ready to. And we'll be staying close to the floor, moving into our own bodies with some opportunities to practice with your baby if they are ready and willing to do so. So I'm going to set up my mat and I will see you on the floor. All right, so we're down here on the floor. We've got our blanket. I have my block baby for lack of having something better to stand in for a real human life. I'm going to be using this block just to represent where your baby can be, especially when they are not yet mobile. Like I said, when they are playing, they're in tummy time, they're on the floor with you. These are just a few things that you could do to help open up your body, release tension, move through something that might feel stuck or knotted in your body while you're already bonding with your baby. So this is kind of like a win-win for the two of you as you get to release some stress from your body. So let's start here in a seated position. And so you can have baby right in front of you, lying on his or her back if that's comfortable for them, and they're engaged. Maybe they have a toy in their hand, they're gnawing on it, they're having a good time. Or alternatively, they could be on their tummy facing you and having to create more strength in the muscles in their neck while they try to look up at you. So here we are, we're just in a simple cross-legged seated position, and our hands are going to come down by our side. And then I want you to reach your hands up overhead, like you're getting a big full body stretch, like you just woke up in the morning. And you can move and stretch in any way that feels good here. And then I want you to start to kind of wiggle your fingers up overhead. And especially if baby's lying on their back looking at you, we can start to bring our fingers down and find some little raindrops on their belly. Maybe that makes them giggle. And then we're going to keep doing this, breathing in, reaching your hands up. And then exhale, twiddling your fingers, having them come down on baby, breathing in, hands up. Exhale, hands down. A few more times, breathing in. Exhale, hands come down, little giggles, noises from the two of you. And down. Good. And again, if they're lying on their back and you have their attention, we'll bring our hands up overhead and invite in a little bit different movement here. So hands come down, stretching from one side. And then to get to the other side, you can sweep over baby, blow kisses, mwah, and then hands up to the other side. So we're gonna keep doing that, kind of sweeping across, making funny noises, making different movements with our hands, sweeping back and forth. And you can have some nice soft music playing in the background too here. Right? We're so focused on wanting to entertain ourselves and our children that we forget that silence and boredom can lead to imagination and creativity. Being overstimulated all of the time doesn't really leave much room for creative thought. Being overstimulated all the time often makes us feel anxious, overworked, overwhelmed. We need time to be still, but often when we get that time to be still, it's like we don't know what to do with it anymore. So this is a great way just to connect to your body, your baby. One more time to the other side. Reach up and over. Good, and then bring your hands down. So now we're going to open our legs, have baby right in the center here. And we're going to take a nice, easy fold. So here's where you get to have your riveting conversations. And again, more noises, eye contact, blowing bubbles. That feels good for your jaw to release stress from your face as well. Good, and then lift yourself back up and bring one foot in to your thigh. And now you're gonna start to reach down towards your leg. And here's where if baby's active, they're holding their head up, you can pick up your baby and have them sit right on your shin so you can continue this conversation with them. Hello, good morning, how are you today? You're growing up so fast, really challenging me lately. Good, and then we start to lift up and we switch sides. Folding over to the other leg and baby sits with his or her legs straddling over your leg. La la la, having a good time together. Maybe he or she doesn't like this. Maybe you place them somewhere else. You're just trying to get in some time for you and your body as well here, right? And you can place our baby down. And then we're going to come into hands and knees. So I'll pivot over to this side. Hands and knees, right? Again, so all of this doesn't happen at the same time, right? These exercises you can build into your day in a different sequence, right? So listening to your cues and your baby's cues, you'll know when it's time to stop and move on to something else without having that judgment of this is supposed to be our time together where I can stretch and move, right? But if baby's really not wanting to do that now, then we move on, right? Without any judgment, we say, okay, it's time to do something different. So we're here, we're on hands and knees. This is what we call tabletop. And so we're gonna find some opening through the shoulders here. So you're going to take one hand down and reach one hand way up to the sky. And then with that hand, start to make some big open circles. Go in the other direction too. And again, here you can twiddle your fingers, little raindrops down on your baby. Good, and then switch to the other side. So take your other hand up to the sky and find some rotation through your shoulders. Good. And then hands come back down. Now we're going to play a little game of peekaboo. With your knees coming wide, bring your big toes to touch each other. And sink your hips back. This is called child's pose in yoga. We're going to put our head down. And when you're ready to, shift yourself forward for a peekaboo. And then move back. Breathe in, shift forward, peekaboo. Exhale, shift back. Inhale forward, peekaboo. Exhale back. One more time, breathe in, peekaboo. Exhale back. Now come forward. Now a different kind of peekaboo here as we move through our cat and cow. So hands come down, and right with your children you can make these noises of these animals, right? In our adult yoga classes we don't usually. But here as you drop your belly and kind of let your butt stick out, lift your tailbone, and then let your chest sink. Here we have our cow. Move. And then we exhale and do the opposite, like a Halloween cat. Press your back up to the sky. Let out a little meow. Then breathe in into your cow. Move. And breathe out into cat. Meow. Move through back. They're both back and forth. Inhale here in cow. Exhale, press into cat. A few more times, breathing in and out, moving with your spine. This is so good for our back and our shoulders, especially when you're nursing or bottle feeding your baby. Right? That space in the shoulders can get really stuck. Come on back to tabletop. So now this is our opportunity to do tummy time with our babies. So I'm going to come all the way down to my belly, and your baby can be right out in front of you doing tummy time themselves. So we're going to do two different poses here, or two different movements. One is called Cobra, and the other one is called Sphinx. So first we're going to start with Sphinx. So you're going to start, you think of the Sphinx statue, right? The big paws coming forward. So we imagine our hands as the paws and our forearms as our legs. So you're going to try to get your forearms to slide under your shoulders. So you have your elbows, your elbows are underneath your shoulders. So your elbows and your shoulders are somewhat in line. Then from here, let your belly drop, let your chest drop through, so you're squeezing your shoulder blades. Right? This is strengthening your back and core muscles all the way up to the back of your neck, the same way that it's doing that for your baby. So we're going to take a few breaths here. Again, more conversations. Right? When we're interacting with our baby, how aware can we be of our own bodies? How we're breathing? What our body language is projecting to other people? Good. And another game of peekaboo here for Cobra. So you're going to bring your hands down under your shoulders, bend your elbows, keep them close into your ribs. And as we lift and lower, we're going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in to gently press into your hands, roll your shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then exhale, lower down. Breathe in to lift up. Breathe out, lower down. Breathe in to lift up. Breathe out, lower down. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out. Make a pillow with your hands for your chin. Bend into your knees and sway your feet from side to side. Release your feet down. Come back into child's pose. So you're bending into your elbows, press into your hands, knees bend. And then bring your knees under your body as you sit back on your heels and reach your hands out forward. Especially around our children, to take exaggerated deep breaths is something that they'll pick up on. Doing it in a way of calming rather than in a way of like a stressful sigh, right? Allow yourself to enjoy taking deep breaths. Let's take 3 more here in child's pose. Lifting your head. Come on back up to the seated position where we started. So maybe baby's taking a nap now and you're doing this on your own, or maybe they're still with you, enjoying this sense of calm and this time that you have together. So now we're going to move a little bit more into the neck and shoulders. First, taking a nice deep breath in. Let it go. Drop your shoulders down. Then here, just start to shrug your shoulders up and down your back. Maybe doing one at a time. Just kind of noticing where tension might be living right now. And then sitting up nice and tall, I'm going to start to roll little semicircles back and forth, one ear to one shoulder. And I want you to pause with your right ear towards your right shoulder, please. Take your left hand and just gently, oops, wrong hand. Take your right hand and gently just place your hand on your head. We're not pulling it, we're just adding a little more weight. Take a full breath. And then release your top hand. Find a few semicircles again, side to side. And then land with your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then taking your left hand, place it on your head, allowing the weight of your hand to open up this space through the right side of your neck. Full deep breath. Good. And release your hand. Maybe find a little more movement here. And then sitting up tall with your head right above your shoulders. Let's take a big open stretch. Reach your hands back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then self-hug. Wrap your hands around your body. Reach for your shoulders. Open up your arms. and do it again, switching which arm is on top. And here, if your baby is present, you can say, I love you, and I love me. I love you, and I love me. The way we talk to ourselves in our heads or even out loud is heard loud and clear by other people. Through our actions, they understand how we view ourselves in the world. So when we have positive self-talk, when we see our self-worth, others know our worth too. These little babies, this little life, they're always watching, observing, and learning from us. I love you. I love me. Now shake it out, relax your shoulders and your neck. Bring your hands to your knees and then start to press back, kind of making like a C curve in your spine. And drop your chin to your chest. So your knees are pressing into your hands. That space behind your heart, around your shoulder blades, getting a nice stretch here. And then shift yourself forward and back up to your seat. So that's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this small practice of just moving in your body in mindful and purposeful ways while spending time with your infant. Clearly, your infant will be moving a lot more, and so you'll have to be flexible, and you'll have to remind yourself of moving and going with the flow, allowing moments to unfold naturally rather than how we think that they should in our minds, even how we want them to unfold in our minds. Sometimes things don't go the way that we expect or we plan, and so stopping, taking a deep breath, observing reality, and then making the best choice for yourself and your family from there. I'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend. Take care.